You-
Hi, welcome to Defying Society and Embracing Face. Yes, free facing face.
Let's
What
embrace
is
our
that?
face. Let's embrace our face today. We should start embracing our face.
Welcome to Defying Society and Embracing Faith with Holly and Marisa. This is the podcast where we will be challenging certain. Oh my God, why can't I talk?
No, it happens. We recorded like 4 times for me last week.
It's my turn. Welcome to Defying Society and Embracing Faith. This is the podcast where we challenge societal norms and explore the intersection of our faith and modern living.
Join us as we navigate thought-provoking conversations, personal stories, and Bible insights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is all our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Fact checkers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little worried that our latest post on Instagram will get fact checked.
Which one is
The
that?
tech one. I have a feeling.
Really?
I just have a feeling, yeah. I don't know.
With Tucker?
Yeah,
But we just took a clip from his page.
I know. So hopefully he comes down on Tucker, whoever he is. I just made up a random he for Instagram fact checkers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So a couple people on that post, because if you follow us on Instagram, Facebook,
We post a lot, so make sure you hit the follow button wherever you might find it.
Yeah.
Type it in.
right. But Instagram, we probably post the most, right?
Yeah.
People have said, "Where'd you get this clip from? I want to listen to the full episode." And you have to pay to be. If you go to Tucker Carlson's page, there is like a paid per view type channel that he has. I forget what it's called, but
I think he's got his own podcast too, but I think it's only on Rumble,
okay.
maybe.
Because this clip was from that, and so
Everyone was like,
and it was a very short clip, anyways. Like the whole episode wasn't about
it
that.
was a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
It like leaves you hanging. Like, what is she gonna
I'm
say?
sure they got some paid subscribers for that one because people are probably like interested.
Probably, yeah. But no one's really seeing any of my stuff anyway because I have a shadow ban.
I don't
New.
see your stuff. I know I've mentioned that before. We're together multiple days a week. We share each other's stuff. We have a page together, and your posts don't ever show up on my feed
because I talk about things that you're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
The one that got the shadow ban though, that I think ruined my algorithm for now. It was posted February 22nd. And I said something along the lines of willing to burn down any bridge of friendship that I have with anybody that supports
XYZ.
Yeah. And that XYZ was
people who like children.
Yeah, the people who like children and claiming that to be a sexuality.
Mm.
And it's kind of concerning because the fact that Instagram pulled that down makes me believe that they're okay with that being a sexuality. Right?
They are.
Because why else would that get pulled down? I wasn't calling for a violence.
No, doesn't matter.
I was actually just saying that I don't want to be associated with anybody who thinks that sexuality for
It is
children.
Interesting that it's considered hate speech to speak against like sexuality, I guess you can call it, or those lifestyle choices, but it's not really considered hate speech when people come up onto our posts and make fun of us as Christians.
Oh yeah.
They don't hide them. They don't, we would have to manually go in and complain, which I don't. But
I don't either.
Yeah, it's weird.
I made one post and people actually, like, I feel like what people are doing now, they're reporting your page. I think you get a shadow ban from people reporting, because there's been a couple times where I actually notice, like, I'll have a post that's like going crazy, and then I'll see somebody who's like post reported and like
Really?
literally
Shows
like,
you?
yeah. Well, they'll make a comment.
Oh, they tell you.
Yeah, they always tell me. For some reason, they always like to tell you when they're going to be a dick.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
And then the second that they do that, or like within like the hour, it stops.
The flow.
The flow, the comments, the likes, the shares, it all stops. So
it's kind of weird.
It's a little alarming what they consider now to be hold worthy.
Do you think that this happened recently? Because you said you didn't notice, but feel like if it would have happened when you posted it, this most recent one that you got in trouble for, or whatever, don't you think you would have seen like some sort of warning on your professional dashboard?
I don't feel like that.
Well, I get notifications that say something.
Either I miss it because there's so much going on.
Yeah, probably.
But the only reason why I saw that was because I was looking to go get monetized.
And you checked on it, and
it said I had one violation. I'm like, I don't
So if you have any violation, you can't get monetized?
Well, it looks like I can get monetized, but even though it doesn't matter because they have a shadow ban on my account. So like, I'm not going to be able to make, I mean, like it won't matter.
Did you get it reviewed?
I did. I hit review on it because I'm not calling for violence. I
always
get
get
associated.
Sometimes it's so stupid.
The wood ipper.
The whatever with it. No, but I've said things like jokes about my friends, and there's,
I got another one too where I forget what I was talking about, but I mentioned punching somebody in the face.
yeah,
And I got like hit for like a week.
yeah. I mean, it's so strange.
It's keyboard warriors
Mhm.
too that they're up against. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. But so yeah, got my shadow ban on that. What else is going on? That really pissed me off this week.
Yeah, that's frustrating as hell.
Yeah, because now that I've realized that too, like everything's down.
Well, I made the recommendation to you before we started that I think maybe in order to get your people to see your stuff again, you should get up on there and just do some either a live or just on there with some short videos of you talking.
Yeah.
Because people want to see your face, and if they are there for you and your information, they're gonna,
Yeah.
see it and comment.
Yeah.
Versus some of that stuff you're relying on the mood in which the algorithm is running, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we'll figure it out.
I mean, I see people all the time getting monetized to a level where they quit their jobs.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Man, if I didn't have to.
I mean, I don't have a job, but I wish I could be like in a position to be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Speaking of people who don't have jobs, did you see this rage retreat
No.
thing? Okay, so apparently, I don't know how long I think it's like 2 weeks long.
Mm-hmm.
It's like $4,000 for this retreat. But someone had taken a video of like, I don't know if they do this the entire time, but it's for women. And they obviously call it a rage retreat because they're looking to like get out all their like anger issues and rage and whatever.
Okay.
There's this video going around of these, what looks to me like liberal women
Mm-hmm.
taking tree branches and smacking them on the ground while like screaming at the top of their lungs. Like,
And they
this
do
is a
that
real thing.
Do they pay people to organize it?
Yeah. Yes. So there is actually, I was just like looking it up because I wanted to see, first of all, if it was legit, like,
Yeah,
was it
like it's
$4,000 retreat thing. But yeah, there's like one coming up, I think, in July for any viewers who would like to be on a rage retreat.
I'd rather go to a peaceful retreat, not a rage.
But who's got time to do that? Like, okay, so this is also discussing how women are oppressed. So this is women with their oppressions and all their shit, getting all the rage out because the white man keeps them down. And
maybe they just have mental health issues.
That's what that looks like to me. Like, here's a video.
They look like normal women, too. We look like soccer moms. Don't they? We look like moms that are at the school stops. What are they mad about? They're probably mad that they have to go to work every day and help support their family.
If they had to go to work every day, they wouldn't be able to do this. Like, what is this?
That has to be like, I bet you're regretting the fact that you fought so hard to have rights and now equal as men, and now you have to go to retreats because you can't handle it, because now you have to do all the shit you're supposed to do as a female plus men's jobs.
Right?
Good job. Well done. Now you have to go to a rage retreat to get rid of that.
Because now you have to work
resentment.
Well, now you have to fucking work full time, take care of your kids, take them to all the fucking soccer practices, cook the meals, do the laundry, do all the bullshit.
Right.
Because you wanted to be more like a fucking man.
And now you're trapped. That's why they're having rage retreat.
Well, why are they paying $4,000 to go smack branches against the fucking
Yeah.
ground?
That's weird.
Like, you can do that in my backyard.
Mhm. You could pay me $100 and I'll let you come over here and
And do a rage
rip out some
retreat.
plants or something. I don't know.
It looks like they need some serious therapy.
Yeah,
though.
that's pretty.
Good old feminism, like,
Yeah.
taking it to another level.
Hmm.
I don't know what they're so mad about though.
It doesn't explain.
Maybe I'll look it up on their little website of whatever the rage retreat is coming up in July. Sacred Rage Ceremony. Let's see what this one's about. It's actually called a rage ceremony. Contrary to what we've been taught and how we've been trained to behave, our anger is a sacred source of power, a holy expression of passion, and a fire that will heal humanity and the earth. When safely touched, our rage unlocks grief and moves us from repressed, disempowered, to embodied in our truest, most primal nature. That doesn't make sense. The gathering is a prayer for the collective, for all of our relations, a reclamation of right to express honestly and loudly. We choose this work for our ancestors to heal what they couldn't. We walked. I can't even do this. I can't even.
So
We will burn away patriarchal illusions and remember the unstoppable power of women in unity. We will create spaces where softness and ferocity can coexist. Our cries and our roars will yield deep reconciliation for us and for all of our relations. We'll discover liberation in being loud and taking up space. People do this for 2 weeks.
wow. Isn't there something to be said about being a woman is like not about getting angry and about controlling your emotions? Shouldn't you be learning how to do the opposite? Instead of taking your rage out, you should be like finding resources to figure out what the problem and the source of your discomfort is, and then learning how to deal with it, versus like implying that you need to that your anger, your ability to unleash your anger is being repressed and you need to let it out. Isn't
Yeah,
that
I don't
kinda
know what's going on. Like, I don't know if like these are just like angry people in general and just need like an outlet because they hold on to it for so long.
I mean, everyone needs an outlet, but going for a run or something. I mean, I remember going to a boxing class with my one friend and I like hit the bag very, very hard, take it very seriously. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I mean,
There's so many outlets you can.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I'm okay. But it feels good to like, physically challenge myself and like really
Yeah.
hit the bag hard,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah. I don't know what's behind that. I would never go sign up for.
To scream and yell and
No, because I feel like that doesn't fix anything. That's not going to fix anything because it doesn't
No.
go to like the root of what you're mad about.
Well, my mom says to me sometimes, and sometimes people say, my husband will say too, like, I just wish I could, take the kids for the day and like give you a break. And, you need this, you need that. And what my response is always like, I actually don't want a break from the kids because that doesn't really, I mean, sometimes it's nice just to have like a minute, right?
Mhm.
Like not have anyone talk to you or ask you for anything. But really, if you're really stressed out and you're in the thick of it as like a parent, for instance, or a mother, you need structure.
Yeah.
You need to fix why they're taking you to that level
Mm.
and taking you to that place every day. So I feel more like, no, I just need everyone to fucking cooperate. I need to know what I'm doing wrong to where I can make it to where the house flows the way I need it to and everyone's contributing, listening, and that's always not going to be perfect or whatever, but
Well, we were talking about that this morning when I feel like we are being pulled out of the house for XYZ, whether it be school, work, soccer, swim team, whatever. I feel like that's when like the whole foundation
everyone
crumbles.
fights. Yeah.
Well, because that no one's got a consistent plan.
No.
Like sometimes you guys are eating dinner at like what 8 o'clock at night
Yeah.
when everyone gets
Or
home
later.
from. Yeah, I mean,
If I don't make it at like 5, which
mhm,
they snack for 3 hours after school, so no one's really hungry.
right?
But no, it's true. It's just like, and especially with the weather being nice, no one really wants to go anywhere. They want to like be home and hang out. And I mean, like last week, Pete was home and we knew we weren't going to see him for a couple of days. So he's like, let's just not let's skip everything. Let's go shoot some hoops. Let's,
Yeah.
and they were like, yay,
Yeah.
and you just need to, but yeah, you're getting pulled. Like yesterday I taught all day long. My house, I left when they left. It was messed up just from the morning. Then I couldn't throw laundry in. I couldn't empty the dishwasher. I couldn't do all the things. I came home and I was like, oh my gosh, I was so tired. It just like totally reminded me of working again, to where I would come back and I'd be like, I got to do this, that, and then you can't really, it's so hard to parent then, because then you're just like irritated by everybody, and then no one's tried to
Catch up.
and they just went to school all day. So
It's the hamster wheel.
yeah.
It's the hamster wheel that society tells you, like, you gotta put your kids in school, gotta have them do the extracurricular.
Yeah.
It's gotta have them do this, and then
Well, I will tell you, yesterday was proof to me that if I was to have an actual job again, this house would just absolutely fall apart. It would just, the dishes were like filled like till this morning. Because last night,
well,
I can't get to it.
But
I went to a swim meet last night.
But I bet if you were actually going out and working, though, you guys probably could afford to get like a freaking maid
I don't
or somebody.
I don't
like,
think so.
Actually, clean up and everything.
No.
No.
Who would do that?
Well, actually, speaking from somebody who's actually working, I can't afford like shit because of inflation. Going to the grocery store makes me want to throw up. Filling my gas tank 3 times a week because of my job takes me like throughout everywhere. Gas right now is $3.70 over here in Cleveland. $3.70.
Yeah, it's bad. And I think they put water in it or something. So it doesn't like.
Yeah, it doesn't take me to 400 miles.
I'm like, this can't be true. Like, there's no way I just went through that much gas. Like, I don't go anywhere. And when I blow through a tank of gas, I'm like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so rage. I mean, I guess when I see that, I guess I don't feel that much rage. Maybe once a month for a couple days.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the story behind all that is. Like, are these like women who are like married with kids? Are they single?
They look like moms from the school.
If they can afford $4,000 to go to a camp and scream for 2 weeks, like they have to be.
They just want to break.
Well off.
They just want to get. That's weird.
Could you imagine if you told Pete, "Hey, I'm gonna go to a camp for 2 weeks where I can, be mad."
No, I can see going on a retreat. I could see going
for like a wellness.
I actually always wanted to go to a silent retreat. Have you heard of those?
No.
You literally
like a monk.
No one speaks at all. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hear anyone talk.
What about music? Nothing, just quiet.
I don't think.
I feel like after a while.
I think you could probably do what you want in the, your room or whatever, but no one speaks.
I don't know about that one.
No,
I don't know.
I could.
You know what's
find
funny
some healing in that.
Is like when after I got fired from my job, I didn't have like any employees, like because like when you are working with other people, like you're constantly like talking to people, or like like someone knows what I made for dinner last night, like just talk about like recipes and like bullshit and like what's going on in my life, and it was a huge transition going from having coworkers to no coworkers. Like with my job, like I'm not with somebody longer than like, first of all, I don't see anybody more than once. And I'm only with them for like 20, 30 minutes for my
you don't
work.
Think you would enjoy not talking to anyone, having anyone talk to you for a few days?
I don't know. Maybe because I don't have 5 kids.
Maybe.
I don't have 5 people talking to me all day.
I don't know. I could just like when I'm by myself at home for the few hours that I am, there's probably days I don't speak for several hours.
Yeah.
And I don't even listen to anything either.
No?
No, when I go outside, I just, I don't listen to music anymore. I don't know. I'm like, everything irritates me. Like if I was to listen to a podcast, somebody would probably annoy me. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And if I don't want to be irritated, I just don't listen to anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Everybody's different.
Yeah. Depends on what your triggers are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I like people, I like to talk to people. Like my kids are always like, you always making friends everywhere you go. I'm like, well, it's like, I'm a people person, but I can also not talk to people.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have like you have like a good energy though. When people, I feel like when you look at somebody, you can tell like that's somebody I would want to talk to versus like someone who's like closed off.
Right.
Yeah.
People tell me a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like
a lot of
complete
stuff.
strangers.
Too much information.
And my husband will be like, what? How did you learn all that in 5 minutes at TJ Maxx? I'm like, I don't know. They just started like telling me these things. And then it's like, it's okay. Like, cause I like to ask questions too. So like,
Yeah. I have the resting bitch face.
They're like,
And then
I'm not talking to her.
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
I went to church today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was
Catholic Mass?
Catholic Mass. I think it was the last one. Yeah. Because they go to church every Friday in the morning. So Bennett did the petitions.
Mhm.
It's like when they like pray for people and then you say like, Lord, hear my prayer. I totally forgot about it this morning until our other friend whose daughter was doing the gifts or whatever was like, oh, you go to church? I'm like, shit. But I need it. And so two of our friends, mutual friends, were sitting in front of me. And then the first thing that there was a deacon there today. So he quoted Matthew, 2 scriptures in Matthew about divorce. So you want me to read them really quick?
Yeah.
So I was like, which I thought was a weird way to start the student, mass. But so it's Matthew 5:31. It has been said, anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife except for sexual immorality makes her the victim of adultery, and anyone who marries a divorced wife commits adultery. And then it goes on about, and the oath and this and that. And then in Matthew again, 19, I think. 19, right out the gate, when Jesus, and he quotes these, the deacon did. When Jesus had finished saying, okay, he left Galilee, blah, 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 large crowds followed him. Some Pharisees came to him to test him. They asked, is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for any and every reason? And Jesus says, haven't you read? He replied, that at the beginning, the Creator made them male and female and said, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate. Why then, they asked, did Moses command that a man give his wife a certificate of divorce and send her away? Jesus replied, Moses permitted you to divorce your wives because your hearts were hard. But it was not this way from the beginning. I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another woman commits adultery. And then, so he reads this and I'm like, ooh, this is going to be good. And Pam's like, well, yeah. And then he just didn't even talk about it. And then it was about relationships. And I get kind of the purpose of talking about relationships because it was like the 8th graders' last church service, because they're moving on. And also like it's the end of the year and you have these relationships. So like in that regard, I was like, okay, relationships. But then I was like, that would have been way too deep for, Friday morning students. But I was just kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of got my brain going as to.
So was he just basically saying how, you're committing adultery if you divorce? Like, is that what
I know, like I was trying to think like covenant, relationships, bonding, like how does that relate to Jesus? Like, your relationship with Jesus, maybe.
Jesus' bride?
Yeah, like that's kind of like, but it wasn't like, I don't think it was really articulated really, but it just got me, I don't know, I guess the topic just kind of came to my head too, because that could be its own podcast on divorce, obviously. But Moses allowed them to get divorced because they had hardened their hearts. But that's not the way it's been from the beginning. So I'm trying to like dissect or navigate that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not God's intention, but like what is marriage anyways?
Man and woman.
Well,
sacrificing.
He does, say from the beginning it's man and woman. Not to say that, if you choose to be something else. But Moses allowed for divorce because their hearts were hardened. What does that mean? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And how does he have the authority?
Who, Moses?
Yeah.
Because didn't everyone come to him anyway with all their stupid bullshit in between? Like when they're out in the forest, like, hey, like this person did this.
Right.
And like he was kind of like the authority to let them.
So they were complaining enough. And then he's like, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
you
write
get
a certificate, you're
Yeah.
done. But just know that if she's with anyone else or you're with anyone else, it's adultery.
Well, I feel like maybe because from the beginning, the way God created, back in Genesis, he made Adam and Eve before they sinned, and I feel like now that they've created all this like sinful behavior, that they're falling away to sin, which makes someone want to get a divorce, really, at the end of the day.
Well,
right?
also,
Because
yeah,
you're cheating on somebody, which means you're lusting after someone, or you're lying, or
do you think it's like a pass from God though, too? Like, well, if your spouse cheats on you,
Mhm.
it looks like biblically it's a pass for divorce.
Yeah,
Is that
that's what it looks like to
that's
me.
what I'm understanding?
But then you guys are both adulterers then, right?
Even though,
Because even though like one,
so you just made your wife an adulterer if she has to end up going and getting
that's what I take that
That's
as,
fucked up.
because she's getting divorced.
Anyways, I thought it was really deep to start off church service with that.
Yeah, it is.
And then to not elaborate,
Right.
where
Where you're going with that.
people I'm just kind of like, they always quote Matthew, Mark, and Luke else. Like, it doesn't really, it doesn't get too, broader than that. Anyways, and then, you think about children and their relationships and kind of which triggered the thought of how we're disciplining our children. Influencing and disciplining our children. Sorry, I'll type
I've had
up
a rough
20 minutes to get to that.
and you and I both had a rough week.
Oh yeah. Seems like at the same time too.
Yes.
Usually happens.
Yes. Is that like a moon phase or something? Like what the
Probably.
hell happened? Because like I was ready to lose it. Actually, I did lose it. I did
Yeah.
lose it.
I give my kids these lectures. I have no idea if they are listening to me, but the other day, we were getting ready to go to swim practice and Bennett did not have his swim trunks. And we are getting in the car. And I've been telling him for 3 hours to get ready for swim teams.
How old is Bennett?
11.
Yeah.
So I had to leave him the other day because he was going to make me late to pick up the 5-year-old from practice. So I left him. So here we are 2 days later and he still can't find his trunks, which he had all day to find. Anyways, I made him go to practice anyways. I'm like, then you're going to watch everybody and sit there. So then we're in the car and also while I'm complaining that he's not ready, Lisa's eating a sucker that's a ring pop that's making her mouth all blue. And I'm like, what the? I don't give my kids candy. They get it from other sources. Then it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was pretty pissed about that. I'm here to throw it out. And then I'm in the car and I'm kind of like lecturing them about multiple things. And I'm sure they're just like hating life because all 5 of them are in the car and I'm driving. They can't escape me. And I'm eating a popsicle, like an organic, like pineapple popsicle.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm eating this popsicle and complaining. Essentially, that's what it is. I'm complaining about habits and what summer is going to look like if they think they're going to like pull this crap on me, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. So yesterday I brought it up to Annalise because we were alone. And I was like, did what I say, like,
Did it resonate
Right,
with
yeah.
you? Did you
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
It's like, well, not really because you were yelling at us about eating junk food while you were eating a popsicle. I said, are you kidding me? I was eating like a healthy popsicle, like
yeah.
not one of your blue and red dyed popsicles. You know what I'm saying?
So I don't think they're understanding like what's actually in the food. They're not getting.
They're not
they must
understanding
not
where I'm coming
understand
from.
it. Yeah. No.
So I was like, I don't even know.
Just because it's something enjoyable. I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was a little bit much for me to handle. I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really get that the ingredients from which I was eating is not the same as like your ring pop. Do you think I would load our freezer with those popsicles if they weren't okay for you to eat?
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Like, because it's a.
I'm glad
doesn't
that
mean it's like disgusting.
15 minutes in the car with you and that's what you got out of it.
Do you know what Vincent did to me yesterday at Drummer?
Yeah.
So, okay, he's been having accidents.
Mhm.
Okay, like pooping himself ever since he's been out of school.
Yeah, that's-
Okay, so I don't know what's happening, but he's regressing.
yeah.
And it's been an issue.
He's relaxing.
Yeah.
He's really taking some of race to another level.
Oh yeah. So his punishment, because my whole family likes to bring him freaking donuts
Mhm.
all the time. So like that's a constant battle too.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in my household
Right.
monitoring what my kid is fucking eating all day. Everyone buys him junk food and shit.
Yeah.
And I had
He
to
likes to eat healthy. I mean,
yeah, and he does. Which that's just a whole other thing that I have to navigate because I'm a working mom. I have no control over what's going on in my house. Anyway. So his punishment is no donuts. So I texted everybody. I'm like, hey, just so you know, Vincent's having an issue. His biggest thing that he loves is donuts. I'm taking away the donuts. No donuts, no cookies, no nothing.
no popsicles when he comes here.
He can have a popsicle.
Okay.
I think he'd be heartbroken.
Yeah, I don't.
Give him a popsicle.
He's getting his popsicle. I'm going to override you on that.
So when we go to the store, so yesterday I took him to Drug Mart and he's going around, he's like, Mommy, donuts, can I have donuts? And I'm like,
Packaged,
yeah,
powdery.
of course I keep him like right at the checkout aisle, like right in the end cap, like all the little tiny from like his height.
Right.
Right. Like, no donuts. And he's like, why? I'm like, because you keep pooping your pants.
Yeah. Right.
Mom, don't say that to me out loud. And I'm like, okay, sorry.
He's embarrassed.
Like, yeah, he got embarrassed. So then now we're like trying to check out. And like now at his eye level, there's all kinds of candy that he's
Mhm.
pulling out, you know, like Reese's Cups and Brook patties and everything. And he's like, you know, fingering all of it. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no. So I pull him off to the side. And he's like asking me, he's like, well, candy is good for me.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no, it's not good for you. And he's like, well, it's going to make me strong and healthy. Because that's why I tell him when it's something good.
Okay. I'm like, what?
Like, it's not going to make you strong and healthy. He's like, well, he's like, what? Is it going to make me fat?
Oh my
And he asks this in front of the cash register,
Right.
who just happened to be like overweight.
Right.
My face got so freaking red. I'm like, why would you, like, oh my God, I don't know what to say to you.
And you probably have never said that to him, right?
I think I have.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because I just said, like, if you eat too much, because like,
Right.
he was like going to town on
And that's the one
cookies
thing
or donut.
remembers that.
Of course. And I'm like, you're going to get fat, Vince. I'm like, you can't eat all those donuts. I'm like, eat an apple.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. I mean, like, I know people have a real problem with that too, like, but it's true.
Yeah.
They will gain weight and be unhealthy if they eat too much of the
What am I
bad
going to do? Lie to him?
I know. I tell the kids that fast food puts pimples on your ass. Stella's like, Avery eats fast food. She doesn't have pimples on her ass. Not yet, I said.
Do you know about that?
I said
Like, have
maybe.
you seen her ass?
Yes, that's true. She's probably like, do you have pimples on your ass?
You know? Yeah, so I felt like a complete tit
Yeah.
out there telling my kid that he's going to be fat if he eats too many pieces of candy. So there you go with that parent.
Well, but you can go the teeth route, you know. The dentist will tell you.
I
like,
do that with his drinks.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they don't really care, but you know.
Mm-mm.
With the disciplining, I know you had shared with me, or I shared with you, a video on the root of gentle parenting.
Yeah.
And that's a real eye opener, you know, because you feel like so terrible watching these clips from different pages that specialize in this type of parenting where it's just so rational. It's so thoughtful and it's so gentle. And you're like, wow, I'm really dropping the ball. Like you can really feel bad about yourself. And then it's like, I mean, I definitely wasn't parented gently. And I mean, I think the fear of disappointment from my parents, or the fear of disciplinary action, the yelling, I feel like it made me respect them at a very high level, to which is hard to find anymore.
Mhm.
Really.
The gentle parenting is kind of like a newer phenomenon too, though. Like I feel like that
We don't know how
wasn't talked about.
No, I don't know.
Or social media.
Right. And do we know how they're going to turn out?
I don't know.
I mean, I see a lot of people who grow up in very calm households. And that seems like a good approach. Like some people just aren't like loud people. They don't yell, like, you know, they don't get mad easily maybe, or I don't know, and the kids are quiet too. And you're like, okay, well, that's like a quiet household.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's the same as like gentle parenting.
No, because I feel like gentle parenting is how like you react to whatever they're doing, whatever like you're disciplining them. You know?
I find personally that yelling doesn't really work in our house, because Pete was always like, you know, loud and yelling, and he kind of gave that up because it doesn't really, I mean, actually it does work because they shit their pants if he yells. I shouldn't say that it doesn't yell, but it doesn't really get you long-term success.
No.
Whereas like for me, instead of yelling, because I'm really not able to get my voice very loud, I'm probably sarcastic. I'm probably like go with a sarcastic tone, or like I do the whole like
Turn it around on them type thing.
I probably turn it around. I probably do like the Italian mother guilt martyr type thing where it's like I have to do all this and no one cares what I think about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that naggy, I probably fall into like that category more now.
Yeah.
And that's annoying. Like that's just like the only way you realize you're doing it is if like your spouse points it out, which mine's never home, but or your kids repeat things like not necessarily what you say, but the tone in which you say it, and then you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, you're a freaking asshole,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Be-
I had a lot
realize
of
that-
empty threats. That's because I
Empty threats.
now Vincent does that for me. I'm gonna beat you.
Oh my god.
You're like,
That's really what it
yeah, or your kid saying something so stupid back to you, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I have my sense of humor and I'm not sarcastic. I don't use sarcasm like that's not my sense of humor, but
Yeah.
I can see where they would use it against me if
Mhm.
I do. Or like they'll pretend like they're joking about something because I joke a lot. I'm
Yeah.
like that's not a joke.
No.
Let's not get it twisted. That's
So what are the so what's our answer to this? Because I don't know how to approach it. I'm a newer mom, so
I think that definitely when I pray specifically for my children on things and I've been kind of slacking in the prayer department, you know, like I used to like journal in the morning. I feel like that is super helpful. I know for some people that might seem like, oh, really? But it actually, like, you know, we've witnessed it ourselves when we've really taken the time. But I feel like it's on me. I need to be more organized. I need to accept my situation. So every day you have to have this ready. You have to have dinner planned. You have to have, you know, whatever it is. The calendar has to be.
you go from like the
You can't
weeks.
act like you're shocked when people aren't following a structure when you don't have a structure,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the summer, because I cannot handle the level of mess they make, they can't do shit until they do their chores.
Yeah.
During the school year, because they're getting up, going to school, I really don't enforce things as much. I'll be like, hey, someone empty the dishwasher. But in the summer, I'm more like, did you do this? Okay, now you
You have like a chore list.
do you know what I'm saying? Don't ask me to go anywhere, see anyone, or watch TV or whatever until that list is done,
Yeah.
right? But if you don't have it in place, you can't really complain.
And if you don't enforce it consistently.
Right. So I honestly blame myself all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what it comes down to
Yeah.
is just how you and I decide to
Right.
handle the situations versus you can't blame them.
Yeah, they're children. Even when your kids get older or act more mature, like my oldest daughter is 13 now, and she does come off more mature. But at the end of the day, you can totally see her age,
Mm-hmm.
how she handles things, absorbs things. And then you're like, I just treated her like a 22-year-old person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she's definitely not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Their brains they can't handle some certain responsibilities. They can't remember things, whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
So,
It's a hard one. I have a hard time. Like, because my thing is like going from, I get a temper
mhm.
and I start seeing red
I think
and I just start like spitting
but I
shit
think where
down.
you're coming
I'm
from when you've expressed that to me is fatigue. You're overwhelmed and you're distracted.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it comes from. Because when I am tired, when there's a million things I have to get done and I haven't started it or I have very little time left, and then on top of it, I'm trying to do one simple thing and someone interrupts me. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? And you're dealing with that quite a bit
Mm-hmm.
because you're organizing your childcare, which is your family, which is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
But then your schedule with your type of job you have,
Mm-hmm.
then you know you want to spend time with them, but then you're also managing your social media,
Mm-hmm.
like 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so one little thing can just be like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean that's the
It's
feeling.
nice when I'm out of the house. That's kind of what it comes
Yeah.
down to too. Like if I'm being
Yes,
pulled in like all the directions, besides like if I'm not picking my son up from preschool or dropping him off, or
It's out of control.
it is out of control.
And
Because then on top of that too, like whatever childcare I do have in the house is like, I clean up the childcare's mess, and then Vincent's mess, and then do whatever wasn't done in those few hours, or whatever was done in those few hours, and I'm just, it's just I don't know,
yeah.
and there's nothing I can do. Like, what am I gonna?
That's
do?
why we don't have a parenting podcast.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just bitch about
Well,
it. Dad, our followers can give us some advice.
I mean, maybe you could feel a little bit.
But I will tell you something though. When I feel like I need to wear one of those "What would Jesus do" bracelets,
Mhm.
because if I remember to, like, even when I'm having a discussion with my husband or my mom, or a tough conversation,
Mhm.
I feel like if I ask myself, like, what would Jesus do, or how would he handle this, like, as queer as that sounds,
Yeah.
like, it actually works.
Mhm.
Or if I pray about it first, if I pray about it, like, for give me like some kind of peace,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
tranquility, or like anything, but if I remember to go to God first,
Mhm.
and then spit out whatever I was going to spit out, like, it doesn't come out in
It comes out.
bad tone.
Right.
It doesn't come out sarcastic. It doesn't come out me being a bitch.
It's also
like,
received better.
Yes. Yeah. So
Better.
I feel like I do need to start wearing something that reminds me to.
Or you can just like hire me to walk around with you and be like, hand over mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm serious. Like, I need like some kind of accountability.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Because like when I'm like by myself in the thick of it, I'm just kind of unhinged.
No, I get it.
I
get it. But
I'm not saying this is all day.
No.
I'm just
But
saying.
we're on the topic, because we're on the topic of gentle parenting. I don't know how those people. We don't tell our kid no. Really? So if they're about to like grab something like on the top of the counter that could stab them in the eye, you don't scream no?
It's they talk them out of it, right?
I don't know. I guess I'm not
or
that thoughtful.
justification, or I don't know.
I find that personally, especially when it comes to safety, like, my youngest is so reckless.
Yeah.
And like, I don't have the power to scream very loud, but like, dude, if I see him doing something stupid, reaction is to just like make the loudest sound I possibly can to stop him from doing something that could severely hurt. And I never had to do that with my other kids. Like, no one was as reckless as him. So like, how do you gentle parent somebody who at 1 year old learned to walk, stood on top of the couch and jumped off?
Well, and that thing too is like, do you think all kids respond well to gentle parenting?
Like, I think
I
think one or two of my kids probably could use like some soft-spoken rational speak, but
like, if you think about like their love language,
yeah,
too,
exactly. Right.
Like, what will get across the best to them? I just
Well, like Stella is definitely like service is her love language, and I only noticed that because she would always be like, "Can I help you? Can I help you?" And I was like, "No, I'm okay." And then I realized like she's always asking me for help with, "Can you please give me a water? Can you put me to bed? Can you take me here? Can you get this for me? Can you do this with me?" She's like asks for things that I'm like, "You're a little too old for that." Until I realized like she's asking me that because that's what she needs. So now when she's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And then when she helps me with something, I tell her how awesome she is at that thing.
like accomplished.
Then she just like, I can't even explain to you how happy she gets. "Thank you, mommy." Like, from planting something to like putting a dish, like
my son's the exact same way. He thrives on little jobs.
Right.
If I just have to keep him busy.
Yeah. And just tell him how good he did it, that service that he did for you. It's like amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's something else. But I want to talk about this one scripture from Deuteronomy 6:7. "These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up." So basically saying like the scripture and Jesus and all his commandments should be discussed like all day long, basically.
No, I agree. The harder you go in the paint with the commandments, the better, and not in a
condemning way.
Not in a condemning way. Not using it against them, not guilting them into it. More so like when something is accomplished that's honoring a commandment, you can bring it up.
Mhm.
In a disciplinary form, you could say it gently,
Yeah.
like, hey, let's think
Not
about
like God's gonna send you to hell
Right.
because you did, which I think that's a lot of where ex-Christians come from. I think they were,
yeah.
because I feel like that's
The Bible is shoved down their throat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Although we're getting the opposite going on right now. Did you see that? This is like completely changing the subject. But did you see that?
That's not like us.
Not at all. Peacock came out with a new, I don't know if it's a series or if it's a one-time show. I should probably look it up before I speak on it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Gay Animals, a show about gay,
It's funny.
bisexual, transgender animals.
Right.
Clownfish could be different sexes.
How do they reproduce?
I don't know. But they're going to have a whole show about it. Apparently,
I
want to
look
watch
forward to it.
And about how lions can be gay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Bennett said that he thinks Roscoe and Romeo are gay because they are very
They're-
close. They don't hump. Cats don't really hump.
Oh, those are your cats. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Julian humps the shit out of Romeo every 5 seconds because he's trying to show his dominance. My dog.
Blue used to hump everybody.
Oh, really?
He used to, because we used to take him to the dog park, the dog park, and he would go up to all kinds of dogs,
Like
and try
father, like son?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's a queer ball.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't.
So, I mean,
That's very strange.
well, I don't think it's strange when you think of it as, what's the point of it? Because like, who's gonna be watching this?
I don't know.
Parents who want a virtue signal and
that's
show their
weird. I have to
kids that
see
the
this
animals are gay.
When is that going to come out?
Here, I'm gonna look it up. Pride. I can't believe I'm typing this into my fucking phone. Pride animals. Okay, Peacock.
Wow.
Queer animals. That's literally what it's called.
Is there a trailer?
Oh, Queer Planet.
To over 11 million.
They really are everywhere.
Everything you were told as a kid is wrong.
Gay penguins, bisexual lions, sex-changing clownfish. This is a queer planet.
Always has always existed. It's only in humans that we have such a stigma about it.
The idea of just having two fixed sexes is clearly out of style.
Mother Nature is pretty open-minded. Sex is not just for reproduction.
It's clear that no matter where you look on our planet, nature is full of queer surprises.
To be honest, we should all probably get laid a little more than we do.
So that's got to be just to get people to go.
Satire and be pissed off.
Yeah, because, well, first off, I think dolphins are like one of the only mammals that have sex for pleasure. So that doesn't even make sense. I'd have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure there's only a few animals that, if there's that maybe monkeys do, but I don't even know.
It just
Dolphins is like one of the only ones.
it never fucking ends.
That is so.
It never ends.
I don't know
Now
what to say about that.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it either. I really don't.
Maybe Romeo and Roscoe are, in fact, gay cats.
But they're trying to say like Mother Nature
If my
and God.
if my cats are gay, then I'm gonna totally support them. We're gonna go to the Pride Parade.
You gotta add like another like stripe to like the fucking pride
Yeah,
rainbow.
yeah, gay cats.
Gay cats for life.
That's amazing. Pete will be so proud. That's weird. Okay, well, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. It's got to be a satire, or
That's just gotta be a way to piss people
yeah,
off.
it's something to get.
It's a way to divide us even more.
Peacock's not getting enough business.
Oh, maybe. Well,
Like,
they're about to. Unfortunately, I am subscribed to Peacock, so I will be canceling the shit out of that soon.
I don't know if we are. I can't control
It's
how
6.
many subscriptions we have.
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
done with that.
Well, we'll
But,
keep an eye
like,
on that.
I mean, I don't know how much more like pulled away you can be from God at that point. If you're trying to tell me that God made it so that way, like lions are having sex for pleasure.
I don't think they do.
No,
I mean,
this world's fucking
gay organs of all things too.
Yeah, I just don't know where they're gonna go with that one.
Mm-mm. Okay, well,
I'm
well, we'll once we watch that one, we'll get back to you guys. All right.
We'll see you later. Bye. fears.